Consistency is the bridge between where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. Many people talk about change, but few understand that change is not an event, it's a process. Real transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly, day by day, choice by choice, habit by habit. You see, life rewards those who show up, not occasionally, but consistently. It's the small steps taken repeatedly that create momentum. Reading a few pages every day, saving a little each week, practicing your craft regularly. These may seem insignificant in the moment, yet, over time, they compound into extraordinary results. Consistency is more than mere repetition, it's a commitment to yourself. It's saying, I will do what is necessary, even when I don't feel like it, because I understand the power of the long game. And when you hold yourself accountable day after day, you build trust with the most important person in your life, you. The secret to lasting change is not in motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes like the wind. Consistency, however, is reliable. It works quietly in the background. It molds character, sharpens skills, and strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, and they will, your consistent habits carry you through. They become your safety net and your springboard all at once. Imagine the life you desire. Imagine the goals you've dreamed of achieving. Now understand this. Those outcomes are not the result of occasional bursts of effort. They are the reward for consistent action over time. Every successful person, every thriving individual, knows this secret. They've learned to honor the process, to embrace discipline, and to show up each day, no matter how small the step may seem. So start today. Decide on one small action you can take consistently. Do it tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Build momentum, not chaos. Build habits, not excuses. Because transformation doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in the persistent, committed, consistent choices you make every single day. And when you look back months or years from now, you'll realize that the life you now live is the product of your consistent actions. The small, steady steps that, piece by piece, built a foundation for lasting success. Consistency is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is not the loud, dramatic gestures that build lasting success, but the daily, repeated actions that shape the trajectory of your life. Many people desire success, yet they misunderstand what it truly requires. They look for quick results, sudden breakthroughs, or inspirational moments that will change everything. But life does not work that way. Success is a process, not an event, and consistency is the bridge that carries you from where you are now to where you want to be. When you commit to consistency, you commit to showing up even when it's inconvenient. You commit to doing the work even when motivation is absent or when the excitement has faded. Consistency means performing small, meaningful actions every day, regardless of how you feel. It is the daily investment in yourself and your goals that compounds over time, creating momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. Consider someone learning a skill, improving their health, or building a business. Rarely does a single effort produce lasting results. Instead, it is the accumulation of repeated efforts, the tiny improvements made daily, that lead to mastery and achievement. Consistency also builds discipline. Discipline is not something that appears overnight. It is cultivated through repeated practice. Each time you honor a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your ability to follow through. It becomes easier to resist distractions, overcome procrastination, and stay focused on what truly matters. Over time, these consistent actions become habits. Habits are powerful because they reduce the mental energy required to succeed. When consistent actions become habitual, success no longer relies on fleeting willpower. It becomes part of who you are. Another profound effect of consistency is the trust it builds with yourself and with others. When you consistently show up, you develop a sense of reliability and credibility. You begin to trust your own abilities and your capacity to achieve your goals. Others notice this as well. People gravitate toward those who are consistent because they know that a person who delivers day after day is dependable. Consistency creates a reputation for excellence, which opens doors and creates opportunities that would otherwise remain closed. Many people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions because they seem insignificant in the moment. Saving a small amount of money each week, practicing a skill for just 15 minutes a day, or reading a few pages of a book may appear trivial. Yet, over time, these small actions compound into massive results. The secret lies in the cumulative effect, the way each consistent effort builds upon the last, creating progress that is invisible at first, but undeniable in the long run. This is why consistency is often described as a silent multiplier. Consistency also shields you from the chaos of life. Challenges, distractions, and unexpected setbacks are inevitable. Without a consistent routine or approach, these obstacles can derail your progress. With consistency, however, you create a foundation that keeps you moving forward even when circumstances are difficult. Your consistent habits act as a safety net, allowing you to recover more quickly and maintain steady progress. It ensures that success is not a matter of luck, but a predictable outcome of deliberate, repeated effort. Finally, consistency is empowering because it puts control of your life in your hands. You cannot always control circumstances, opportunities, or other people, but you can control your own actions. By choosing to be consistent, you take charge of your growth, your progress, and ultimately your destiny. Each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce your commitment, strengthen your habits, and move closer to the life you desire. In the end, consistency is not just a strategy for success. It is the bridge that turns dreams into reality, one deliberate, repeated step at a time. It is easy to underestimate the power of small actions. They seem insignificant, almost invisible when taken alone. Skipping a single workout, reading a page or two instead of a chapter, saving a few dollars here and there. These actions appear trivial in the moment. Yet, the truth is that these small, consistent efforts are the seeds of extraordinary results. They compound over time, quietly building momentum and producing outcomes far greater than anyone could expect. Success, mastery, and personal growth are not usually the product of grand gestures. They are the result of repeated, intentional actions taken day after day. The principle of compounding is simple yet profound. Every small choice you make adds up, whether positive or negative. Just as a tiny snowflake contributes to the formation of an avalanche, a small daily action contributes to the momentum of your life. If you consistently invest time in learning, practicing, or improving yourself, the results are exponential. Over months and years, these small actions create skills, opportunities, and achievements that once seemed impossible. Conversely, neglecting these small steps or making negative choices repeatedly compounds into setbacks, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled potential. Life does not judge actions by their size, but by their consistency and accumulation over time. Think about someone who decides to improve their health. Skipping one workout or eating one indulgent meal may seem inconsequential. But imagine someone who consistently exercises a few times a week, makes healthier food choices, and prioritizes rest. Over weeks, months, and years, those small actions transform the body, energy levels, and overall well-being. The results are not immediate, but they are inevitable. The same principle applies to learning a skill, building a business, or cultivating meaningful relationships. Small, consistent steps create the foundation for extraordinary achievements. Compounding also works on the mental and emotional levels. Reading a few pages of a book daily may seem like a small habit, but over time, it expands knowledge, sharpens critical thinking, and broadens perspective. Practicing gratitude or reflecting on personal growth for a few minutes each day develops emotional resilience and clarity. These small actions, when repeated consistently, Create a mindset and outlook that support long-term success. The cumulative effect is far greater than any single action could achieve on its own. The key to harnessing this principle is persistence. Results do not appear immediately. The first few weeks or months of small, consistent action may seem like nothing is changing. This is where most people give up. They fail to see the invisible growth taking place beneath the surface. Yet, just as an investment compounds quietly in a bank account, your consistent efforts accumulate until the tipping point is reached. Then, suddenly, the results become visible, undeniable, and life-changing. Understanding this principle transforms your perspective on effort, patience, and time. Another vital aspect is intentionality. Small actions must be purposeful. Random efforts or inconsistent attempts rarely compound into meaningful results. Every small step should align with your goals and values, reinforcing the direction in which you want to grow. By intentionally choosing actions that matter and repeating them consistently, you build a life that reflects your highest potential. Compounding does not work without direction, but when guided by intention, it becomes one of the most powerful forces for success. Compounding also instills confidence and empowerment. When you witness the results of consistent small actions, you realize that you are not at the mercy of luck, circumstance, or other people. You understand that your choices matter, that your habits create your life, and that even modest efforts, repeated consistently, will produce remarkable outcomes. This realization is liberating. It shifts your focus from waiting for opportunities to creating them through persistent action. In the end, the principle is simple. Small actions, repeated consistently over time, lead to extraordinary results. What may seem insignificant today can become the foundation of your greatest achievements tomorrow. Every habit, every choice, every step you take matters because compounding is relentless. It works whether you are conscious of it or not. The question is not whether compounding works. It always does. The question is whether you are willing to take the small steps every day that will lead to the life you desire. Motivation is fleeting. One moment it feels strong and electrifying, propelling you forward with energy and excitement. The next, it can vanish, leaving you tired, distracted, or uninspired. Many people mistake motivation for the key to success, believing that they must feel driven every day in order to achieve their goals. The truth is that motivation alone is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. If your success depends on how you feel in the moment, you are building on a foundation that cannot withstand the storms of life. This is why commitment must replace motivation as the driving force behind your growth and achievements. Commitment is different. Commitment is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is the decision to show up, to take action, and to pursue your goals regardless of how you feel. It is the promise you make to yourself that you will stay the course even when the excitement fades, when challenges arise, or when distractions tempt you to quit. Motivation may get you started, but commitment keeps you moving forward day after day, step by step. It is the steady hand that guides you across the bridge of effort, over the turbulent waters of obstacles, toward the life you desire. The power of commitment becomes evident in how it shapes your habits and routines. A person motivated by bursts of inspiration may exercise for a week, write for a few days, or work diligently on a project while excitement is high, but then abandon it when interest wanes. A committed person, however, develops the discipline to act consistently, building habits that do not rely on mood or emotion. Commitment transforms action into a pattern, and patterns into results. Over time, these results compound, producing growth, mastery, and success that would have been impossible if one relied solely on motivation. Commitment also fuels resilience. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles are inevitable. Motivated individuals often falter in the face of setbacks because motivation is tied to circumstance and emotion. Commitment, on the other hand, endures. When a committed person faces challenges, they continue forward, adapt, and find solutions. Each step taken in the face of difficulty strengthens their resolve and builds confidence. Commitment is what allows a person to rise after failure, to learn from mistakes, and to continue pursuing long-term goals despite temporary setbacks. Another key element of commitment is accountability. When you commit to yourself, you create a standard that guides your actions. You no longer act based on whim or convenience. You act based on principle and purpose. This internal accountability is a powerful force. It turns ordinary choices into meaningful steps, and it ensures that your daily actions are aligned with your goals. It gives you a sense of ownership over your life, because you understand that your progress is not determined by luck or circumstance, but by your consistent commitment to taking action. Commitment also creates clarity. Motivation can be scattered and unpredictable, pulling you in different directions depending on what excites you in the moment. Commitment, however, is focused. It provides direction and purpose, helping you prioritize what truly matters and avoid distractions that waste time and energy. When you are committed, each action becomes a deliberate investment in your future. You begin to see the cumulative impact of your efforts, and you recognize that consistent progress, however small, leads to lasting transformation. The beauty of commitment is that it can be cultivated and strengthened over time. It begins with a decision, a conscious choice to honor your goals and your potential, regardless of temporary feelings or external circumstances. Once made, this decision is reinforced through consistent action. The more you act in alignment with your commitments, the stronger your commitment becomes. It is a self-reinforcing cycle. Commitment produces action, action strengthens commitment, and the combination produces results that motivation alone could never achieve. Ultimately, commitment is the engine that drives long-term success. Motivation may light the spark, but commitment is the fire that burns steadily, illuminating the path forward. It allows you to achieve what others only dream of because you persist when others quit, act when others wait, and grow when others remain stagnant. Commitment transforms goals into realities, challenges into opportunities, and effort into lasting change. It is the reliable, unwavering force that ensures your dreams are not merely fleeting thoughts, but inevitable outcomes of consistent, purposeful action. Accountability is often seen as something external, checking in with a mentor, reporting to a manager, or answering to someone else for your actions. While external accountability has its place, the most powerful and lasting accountability is internal. It is the accountability you hold to yourself, the commitment to act with integrity, follow through on your promises, and take responsibility for the results you produce in your life. When you are truly accountable to yourself, you recognize that your life is the product of your choices, and you refuse to blame circumstances, other people, or luck for where you are today. Being accountable to yourself begins with clarity. You must know what you want and why you want it. Without a clear vision or defined goals, accountability is meaningless. When you understand the outcomes you are striving for, every action, decision, and habit becomes measurable against your personal standards. You ask yourself, am I doing what I need to do to reach my goals? Am I acting in alignment with the person I aspire to become? This internal questioning fosters self-awareness and helps you maintain focus even when distractions or challenges arise. Accountability to yourself also strengthens discipline. When no one is watching and motivation wanes, it is your internal commitment that determines whether you will act or procrastinate. Accountability is what keeps you moving forward when the excitement of a new project fades, when life becomes difficult, or when immediate rewards are absent. It transforms responsibility into action, ensuring that your habits, efforts, and decisions are consistent with your long-term objectives. Over time, this self-discipline becomes a defining trait, shaping not only what you achieve, but also the kind of person you become. Another aspect of personal accountability is honesty. It requires you to look at your actions and results without excuses, denial, or rationalization. If you fall short of your goals, accountability asks you to accept your role in the outcome and identify what you could have done differently. This level of honesty is uncomfortable at times, but it is necessary for growth. By facing your own performance objectively, you gain the power to improve, adapt, and make better choices in the future. Accountability transforms mistakes into lessons and failures into stepping stones, rather than allowing them to become excuses for inaction. Accountability also fosters confidence and self-respect. When you consistently honor your commitments to yourself, you develop a sense of trust in your own abilities and judgment. You begin to realize that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do, not because someone else is guiding or monitoring you, but because you are disciplined, intentional, and responsible. This self-trust becomes a foundation for personal growth, resilience, and the courage to pursue increasingly ambitious goals. It creates an inner authority, a quiet strength that motivates action without the need for external validation. Being accountable to yourself is not merely about achieving goals. It is about living with integrity. It is about aligning your actions with your values and ensuring that your behavior reflects the person you aspire to be. When your daily choices are guided by this principle, you develop a life of consistency, purpose, and authenticity. Others will notice your reliability, but the true reward is internal, a sense of pride, self-worth, and the knowledge that you are building your life intentionally rather than letting it be shaped by circumstances or chance. Accountability is also the key to building momentum. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce your habits and strengthen your ability to act consistently. Each completed task, no matter how small, compounds over time into significant progress. Conversely, failing to hold yourself accountable can erode confidence, disrupt routines, and diminish your capacity to achieve meaningful results. The choice is yours to act with integrity and discipline, or to drift with convenience and excuses. Finally, accountability empowers you to take full control of your life. You recognize that the outcomes you desire are not dependent on luck, timing, or other people. They are dependent on your actions. By being accountable to yourself, you take responsibility for both successes and failures, understanding that growth, achievement, and fulfillment are earned through deliberate effort. Accountability is not a burden, it is a source of freedom. It allows you to shape your destiny, pursue your goals with confidence, and live a life that is true to your highest potential. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They shape our days, define our routines, and ultimately determine the kind of person we become. While we often focus on goals, results, and achievements, it is the habits we cultivate consistently that truly shape our character. Character is not built in moments of convenience or comfort. It is formed in the repeated choices we make when no one is watching, when circumstances are difficult, or when our motivation is low. Habits are the bricks, and character is the structure that emerges over time. Every action you take is a reflection of who you are becoming. If you wake up each day with discipline, take small steps toward improvement, and honor your commitments, those actions reinforce traits such as responsibility, integrity, and perseverance. Conversely, neglecting responsibilities, yielding to short-term pleasures, or avoiding difficult tasks erodes character over time. It is not dramatic gestures, but the consistent behaviors, the daily routines, and the small decisions that truly define us. Your habits are the daily proof of your values, the living evidence of the standards you hold for yourself. The power of habits lies in their compounding effect. One small act repeated consistently builds strength, skill, and confidence. Reading a few pages each day may seem insignificant, but over months, it develops knowledge, perspective, and intellectual capacity. Exercising regularly may seem modest, but it develops discipline, resilience, and vitality. The person who consistently practices honesty, kindness, or diligence becomes someone of integrity, trustworthiness, and reliability. Character is formed not in an instant, but in the quiet accumulation of repeated actions, much like a sculptor gradually shaping a masterpiece from a block of stone. Habits also serve as a mirror for self-awareness. They reveal your priorities, your values, and your commitment to personal growth. By examining your habits, you can understand the person you are becoming. Are you spending time cultivating skills or mindlessly passing hours on distractions? Are you acting in alignment with your principles or giving in to convenience and impulse? Habits expose the truth of who you are in ways that words and intentions cannot. They show whether your life is guided by purpose or by drift. Another important aspect is that habits reduce reliance on willpower. Discipline and motivation are limited resources, but habits operate automatically, freeing mental energy for higher level thinking and decision-making. When positive behaviors become habitual, they no longer require constant effort or motivation to perform. Your environment and routines begin to guide you toward growth naturally. Habits form the foundation for consistent action, ensuring that character-building behaviors continue even in the absence of motivation or inspiration. Habits also influence the company you keep and the environment you create for yourself. Consistent behaviors attract like-minded individuals and opportunities that reinforce your character. Conversely, inconsistent habits or negative patterns can lead to associations and environments that undermine your values and potential. By being intentional about your daily routines and choices, you cultivate an ecosystem that supports your growth and strengthens your character, shaping not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. The process of habit formation requires patience and commitment. It is rarely instantaneous, and it often encounters resistance. Old patterns, comfort zones, and self-doubt may try to pull you off course. Yet, it is through persistence, repetition, and conscious effort that habits solidify and begin to define your character. Each small act of discipline reinforces your identity as someone capable, responsible, and consistent. Every deliberate choice contributes to the person you are becoming and the life you are building. Ultimately, habits are more than actions. They are the expression of character in motion. They reveal who we truly are and who we are becoming. By cultivating habits that align with our values, we actively shape our identity, strengthen our integrity, and develop traits that endure beyond circumstances, opportunities, or fleeting motivation. The life we lead is the sum of our daily habits, and the character we embody is the product of the consistent, repeated choices we make each day. Habits are the invisible architects of our destiny, silently building the person we are destined to become. A long-term mindset is the lens through which success becomes predictable rather than random. Many people approach life seeking quick wins, instant results, or immediate satisfaction. They chase what is convenient, rewarding, or visible today, yet they often fail to achieve meaningful growth because they are focused only on the short term. The reality is that life's most significant achievements, the kind that create lasting impact, are never the product of short-term thinking. They are the outcome of patience, persistence, and consistent effort applied over months, years, and even decades. A long-term mindset allows you to see beyond immediate gratification and invest in actions that may not pay off today, but will compound into remarkable results tomorrow. Developing a long-term mindset requires the ability to delay gratification. It is the capacity to act today in ways that may not yield immediate rewards because you understand the power of cumulative effort. Saving a portion of your income consistently, dedicating time each day to improve your skills, or maintaining your health through steady habits may not provide instant satisfaction, yet these actions lay the foundation for a prosperous, fulfilling life. Each small, Deliberate choice contributes to the trajectory of your future. A person with a long-term mindset does not measure progress by daily wins alone. They measure it by how well today's actions position them for tomorrow. Another key element of a long-term mindset is resilience. Life will inevitably present obstacles, setbacks, and moments of discouragement. Short-term thinkers may quit or become frustrated when results are not immediate, but those who cultivate a long-term perspective understand that challenges are part of the journey. Setbacks are not permanent. They are lessons and opportunities to refine strategy, improve discipline, and strengthen character. By maintaining a focus on long-term outcomes, you gain the patience to endure difficulties and the wisdom to see failure not as defeat, but as part of the growth process that leads to lasting success. A long-term mindset also nurtures strategic planning and foresight. When you think long-term, your decisions are guided by vision rather than impulse. You consider the ripple effects of your actions, the habits you build, and the relationships you cultivate. You prioritize investments in yourself, your education, and your personal development because you recognize that these actions will produce returns far beyond what can be measured immediately. This perspective transforms ordinary decisions into meaningful steps that compound over time, ultimately shaping your life in ways short-term thinking never could. Patience is another cornerstone of the long-term mindset. It is easy to become discouraged when results are slow or invisible. But those with a long-term perspective understand that progress is often silent at first. Like a tree growing from a seed, the work you do today may appear small or insignificant, but beneath the surface, roots are developing, strength is being built, and the foundation for future growth is being established. Patience allows you to persist through the quiet, unglamorous work that preceded success, knowing that the payoff will come if you remain committed and consistent. A long-term mindset also enhances focus and reduces distraction. In a world full of instant gratification, flashy opportunities, and constant noise, it is easy to drift from priorities or chase short-term trends. When you maintain a long-term perspective, you evaluate opportunities through the lens of whether they serve your ultimate goals. You learn to say no to immediate temptations that detract from your purpose and yes to the small, disciplined actions that will pay dividends over time. This focus becomes a powerful differentiator between those who achieve lasting success and those who merely coast through life. Finally, the long-term mindset empowers you to take responsibility for your future. It shifts your focus from external circumstances, luck, or fleeting emotions to the actions you can control today. Every decision, every habit, every effort becomes an investment in your future self. By thinking long-term, you understand that wealth, health, mastery, and fulfillment are the result of deliberate, consistent action over time. The mindset transforms life into a strategic journey, where every choice matters and every effort contributes to the legacy you are building. In essence, a long-term mindset is the secret to sustainable success. It allows you to navigate life with patience, persistence, and purpose. It teaches you to endure temporary discomfort for lasting rewards, to act with discipline even when results are unseen, and to make choices that align with your highest vision. By embracing the long-term perspective, you position yourself to reap the benefits of compounding effort, resilient character, and strategic foresight, ultimately creating a life that is not defined by fleeting moments, but by enduring achievement and lasting fulfillment. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. Too often, people delay their dreams, postpone their goals, and wait for the perfect moment to take action. Yet the truth is that there will never be a perfect time. Life will always present obstacles, distractions, and reasons to wait. Waiting does not create opportunity. It only delays it. The most successful people understand that the key to achievement is to start today without excuses, regardless of circumstances, mood, or perceived readiness. Action is the bridge between aspiration and accomplishment, and it begins the moment you decide to take the first step. Starting today requires courage. It is easier to dream, plan, or talk about change than it is to actually take action. Fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt often hold people back. Yet courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act in spite of fear. Every step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, is an act of courage. By starting today, you claim responsibility for your life and refuse to let hesitation or doubt dictate your future. You begin to transform intention into reality, and in doing so, you build momentum that propels you forward. Excuses are the chains that keep potential locked away. It is tempting to blame circumstances, resources, or timing for why progress is slow or impossible. Yet excuses serve only to delay action and limit growth. Every successful person has faced obstacles, lack of resources, or unfavorable conditions. But they did not let excuses define them. They started with what they had, where they were, and who they were. By refusing to make excuses, you reclaim your power and take ownership of your choices. You recognize that your actions, not your circumstances, determine your results. Starting today also emphasizes the value of small, immediate steps. You do not have to achieve everything at once. Progress begins with a single action, repeated consistently. Writing one paragraph, making one phone call, exercising for 10 minutes, or saving a small amount of money. Each action may seem minor in isolation, but collectively they create momentum and lay the foundation for larger accomplishments. By starting immediately, you overcome inertia and begin the compounding process that turns small steps into significant transformation. Another vital aspect of starting today is commitment. Taking the first step is easy compared to maintaining consistent action over time. Yet it is in the consistency, not just the beginning, that results are produced. When you start today, you create a commitment to yourself, a promise to take ownership of your life, to pursue your goals, and to act despite fear, doubt, or distractions. This commitment becomes a source of motivation, discipline, and resilience, reinforcing the habit of action that leads to long-term success. Starting today also encourages self-confidence and belief in your ability to grow. Action generates results, and results build confidence. The longer you wait, the more your fear and self-doubt grow, feeding the illusion that you are not ready. But the moment you act, you break free from hesitation and prove to yourself that progress is possible. Each step forward reinforces your capacity to achieve, creating a cycle of growth, confidence, and momentum. The simple act of beginning is the most powerful way to cultivate belief in your own potential. Finally, starting today is about living intentionally. Life is short, and time is the one resource we cannot recover. Every day that passes without purposeful action is an opportunity lost. By starting immediately, you align your daily actions with your goals and values. You choose progress over procrastination, courage over fear, and responsibility over excuses. You take control of your destiny by acting in the present, understanding that what you do today shapes your tomorrow. The truth is that there is no perfect moment to start. Waiting for ideal conditions, perfect circumstances, or flawless readiness is a trap that leads to stagnation. Real progress begins the moment you decide to act, the moment you replace hesitation with action, and the moment you refuse to let excuses dictate your future. Every journey begins with a single step, and the greatest accomplishments of life are built on the simple decision to start today, no matter what. By embracing action in the present, you set in motion the momentum, habits, and results that will carry you toward lasting success, fulfillment, and the life you have always envisioned.